switch on. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking Lou Del Meso's Voyager trench pieces, which are the only parts that are big enough, and I'm using them to cover the parts of the model that are going to get the clamps. That way, you don't have, you don't see clamp marks on the paint, and everything will work. Kind of like that. And I'm glad I saved all these pieces because they're going to come in handy this way. I'm not putting the part on there that's already been primed until the main saucer is primed, although honestly, if I think back on it, I probably should have put that part on before I even primed the bridge. And then of course, you put the saucer on again. There you go. Good, that's been done, that's successful. So now we just have to clamp these pieces, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get out a video this week. My computer just showed me the black blank screen and nothing seems to be fixing it, so I may have to just jump ahead and keep stuff on the phone and post it from the phone directly to YouTube. It'll take longer, but it will work. There. The white primer piece is clamped on properly. Oh, get in there again. Down, 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 down. There, it's level. Good. So now all I have to do is soak the 2 primer cans in the water, and I'm all set to do the ship. And there, and there. Okay, good. So I will be back once everything's all primed. May have to upload this week's videos, even if they're out of order, directly from the phone. All my computer needed was a restart to work properly again, so I'll have to remember to do that manually each night. But here, if I pull things forward enough, I will get the picture of all the parts primed. So white primer on the clear parts, gray primer on the hull, and what happens next? Well, these parts will be colored by hand at the Hobby Club meeting in 3 days. Same with this. Once the base coat is applied tomorrow night, I can color by hand around the crystal, assuming there's not a Aztec decal. I can color in here with a... I'm going to choose the medium gray. I know on the model kit it's a slightly bluish gray, but I don't seem to have one of those. However, I have a light bluish gray. I do have a light bluish gray, which is the AS5 light gray, which will be for the hull. And let's get the Enterprise out while I still have a few minutes before I put the footage on the computer, which is working again. There's the Enterprise refit. You can see how it's a bluish gray. Well, it's called light blue, but it looks gray. Not as gray as the primer, though, see? It's a cooler color than the primer. It's almost a gray. And that is what I'm going to use for the ship. And, of course, you have the matching refit hull color in case I need to do any touch-ups. Yeah, so that's good. So once everything's dry, I can start detail painting these clear parts. And then tomorrow, I do the hull color. The hull color on the saucer, the hull color on all the nacelle pieces, of which there are now only 2. So I'm going to have to do that in 2 shifts. I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to do it in 2 shifts. Here we go. There's the setup for tomorrow night. AS5 light blue for these secondary hull pieces. And then, of course, after a couple hours, I'll take them off, and that can just stay right there. This will be gripped by this because it's the only thing that allows flexibility on the pieces. I had to cut out a middle section of that, and there's still stuff sagging here. But I needed to have the crossbar out of there so I could get at the top of the nacelle and the bottom of the nacelle from each side. It was the only way. And that's why I'll be glad that after tomorrow, by this time tomorrow, the base color will be done. And I can focus on the funnest part, which is decal painting and Aztec decals. And I'll have to pack up my model box for one last, at the Dorval Legion anyway, hobby club meeting. And the good thing is that now this is good enough to touch, but I'm keeping the Voyager things along the side there. And see, it covers up even from the back where the connection has to be made. Now, I had thought briefly about putting the bridge on there before I paint it. But then I realized you can't get out all sides of the bridge dome or the sensor dome unless they're suspended in midair like this. So that is how I'm painting everything. And the only loose pieces that are not going to get painted at all, because they've already been detail painted, are these front nacelle grills. And it turned out quite well. And of course, this is another detail painted piece. So where is that little bag that it can go back into? There, back in its bag. Okay, I'm quite pleased. And of course, this stays on well. Don't risk that. Keep it in place. But no, it looks nice and gray now. It's dry enough to get any, but remember, any paint imperfections are going to be the Aztec decal's job to cover up. And as far as the Voyager gray for in here, that's what I'm going to use, because you can see how nice it looks on Voyager. It is a slightly bluish gray, so that'll be no problem. It should be, oh dear, I'm going to have to put these somewhere here. Interference paints are going to go up here for now. Well, actually, so that I don't forget where they are, put them right in front of a refit, because that's what they're designed for in the future. Okay, mixing bottles, here we go. All right. Oh, Voyager dark gray. There it is. That's what I need. Yeah, this is a whole box of mixing bottles plus some Tamiya stuff, so works out great well. There you go. So that will be for here. Now I thought